The movie opens with Sam Manekshaw and his two friends at a bar. These three are undergoing training at an army school during the British rule in India. Sam's friends advise him to return to the camp promptly for the next day's training, but Sam, feeling a bit tipsy and in the mood for fun, insists they'll go back tomorrow. The following day, they arrive at the camp only to find that training has already begun and they're late. The British school head reprimands Sam's friends and lets them off with a warning. However, Sam receives a 15-day punishment of intense training, including boxing. The story then shifts to 1935, where Sam's promotion to second lieutenant in Lahore takes place. The narrative continues during a time when India and Pakistan were not yet separate countries. Subsequently, we witness Sam encountering another lieutenant named Dilsher Singh, and in a short span of time, they develop a strong friendship. One day, Dilsher urges Sam to accompany him to a party hosted by his friend. However, Sam declines the invitation, stating that it is Dilsher's friend's party and he doesn't feel inclined to attend. Despite Sam's refusal, Dilsher feels compelled to bring Sam along. The scene shifts to the party, where Sam engages in conversations with numerous girls. Amidst the conversations, his attention is captivated by a girl standing at a distance, exuding a remarkable allure. Curiosity piqued, he inquired about her to the girls nearby, who informed him that her name is Silu Bode. Intrigued, Sam approaches Silu and introduces himself. During their conversation, he surprises her by asking, "Will you marry me?" Silu, taken aback by the sudden proposal, finds herself in a state of confusion. Undeterred, Sam invites Silu to dance with him at the party, and they enjoy their time on the dance floor. The scene concludes at this point. The narrative then transitions to the year 1942, where Sam Manekshaw and Silu Bode are now married and have a young daughter. This is set amidst the backdrop of World War II. During this period, Indian soldiers were deployed to Burma to confront and combat the Japanese forces. Consequently, numerous soldiers from the Indian Army, including Sam Manekshaw, arrived in Burma. As they moved forward, they found themselves under attack from their own fighter planes. Tragically, many soldiers lost their lives in this unintended assault. The unfortunate incident occurred due to a misinformation that led the planes to believe that the Japanese soldiers had initiated the attack. Despite the loss of lives, the British authorities directed Sam to continue with the mission. In response, Sam briefed his fellow comrades about the objectives for the following day. He conveyed that their mission entailed capturing a bridge and the two hills adjacent to it. Furthermore, Sam emphasized that the wounded soldiers should not be brought back to the camp until the completion of this mission. The following morning, the troops commenced their assault on the Japanese forces. The battle resulted in the loss of many Indian soldiers, as well as a significant number of Japanese soldiers. After some fighting, a wounded Japanese soldier shot 9 bullets into Sam's body. Sam killed the Japanese soldier, but was severely injured in the process. The other soldiers saw Sam wounded, and he reminded them of the rule that no injured soldiers would be taken to the camp until the mission was completed. Sam told the soldiers to continue on without him. However, Sam's friend Dilsher picked him up and carried him back to the camp. When the doctors saw Sam, they said there was no point in treating him since he had been shot 9 times and was likely to die at any moment. But when the doctors asked Sam what happened, he jokingly said he had been kicked by a donkey. The doctors found this funny and agreed to operate on Sam. The operation was successful, and all 9 bullets were removed from Sam's body. Remarkably, Sam survived despite sustaining such severe injuries. The British officers were very impressed by Sam's actions, and he was awarded his first Medal of Honor. The scene then shifts to Sam's home, where he had invited his longtime friend Yahya Khan over for dinner. Later, Sam and Yahya are seen riding on Sam's motorcycle. Yahya informs Sam that a new country called Pakistan is being created by partitioning a part of India. Yahya then tells Sam that he has decided to live in Pakistan and asks Sam what he plans to do. Sam replies that he was born in Amritsar, his wife is from Bombay, and he works in Delhi, so he is unsure what he will choose. That same night, the Indian Army has a final party before the partition. At the party, Yahya becomes heavily intoxicated, so Sam ends up riding his motorcycle to take Yahya home. Now, at his residence, Yahya informs Sam that he will deeply miss his bicycle after the partition. In response, Sam suggests that he could sell his own bicycle for 1,500 rupees, and, if needed, Yahya can reimburse him later. Moving forward to August 15, 1947, the significant day when India and Pakistan were divided, a few days after the partition, Pakistan launches an attack on Kashmir in an attempt to seize control. Unfortunately, Kashmir lacks the necessary resources to defend itself against Pakistan, prompting them Sam to seek assistance from India. With the aid of a government secretary, Sam reaches the King of Kashmir. Upon their arrival, the king expresses his long-awaited anticipation and remarks on their arrival. The secretary attempts to explain the situation, but the king insists on personally joining the battlefield, willing to shed his own blood for the people of Kashmir. In response, Sam interjects, highlighting the reality that a skilled soldier can fire approximately 15 to 20 accurate shots from a distance of 300 feet. He expresses confidence in the king's ability to fire at least 10 accurate shots. This serves as a reality check for the king, emphasizing that he may not be suited for warfare. Ultimately, Sam advises the king to focus on political matters while he takes charge of the war. Consequently, Kashmir officially becomes a part of India. Subsequently, Sam and the secretary need to depart for Delhi from their current location. However, a predicament arises as it is nighttime, and the runway lacks illumination. Taking matters into his own hands, Sam devises a solution by arranging men in 2 lines along the runway and equipping them with torches, providing ample light for the aircraft to take off safely. As a result, their plane successfully departs from the location. In 1959, the Indian Army went to Kashmir to fight against the Pakistani forces and successfully defended Kashmir from them. The story then moves to a meeting between the Indian Defense Minister and the Chief of the Indian General Staff at the home of a man named Sam. During this meeting, the Chief of the General Staff noticed that Sam had pictures of many British officers displayed in his house. The Defense Minister then asked Sam for his opinion about his superior officer, but Sam refused to answer, stating that he did not want to comment on his superiors, as discipline is the foundation of the army and should not be undermined. The Chief of the General Staff then suggested that he wanted to provide some input regarding Sam's training. However, Sam turned the tables and asked the chief how much combat experience he had. Since the chief lacked any real wartime experience, Sam refused to accept his recommendations. The Chief of the General Staff was upset by Sam's response and decided to retaliate by filing a false case against Sam, accusing him of being anti-national. The chief cited the presence of the pictures of British officers in Sam's home as evidence to support this false claim. After this incident, we see Sam discussing the case with his friend Silu. Silu was very distressed about the situation, but Sam reassured him that he would be all right and that he could handle the false charges against him. The scene then shifts to the military court, where a hearing is being held for Sam's case. The officers presiding over the hearing were also affiliated with the Chief of the General Staff, who had filed the false charges against Sam. During the hearing, the officers asked Sam why he had put up pictures of British officers in his home. Sam responded that soldiers are trained in the army, not politicians, and that he had hung up pictures of the same capable officers who had trained him. The inquiry went on for some time, but ultimately the officers were unable to prove Sam guilty of any wrongdoing. As a result, Sam was released from the proceedings. The story then jumps forward a few more years, to a time when China had attacked the Indian state of Assam. The then Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, gave a speech to the people of Assam, in which he sounded very helpless and dejected. Sam Manekshaw strongly criticized Nehru's speech, arguing that if the Prime Minister conveyed such a sense of helplessness, it would erode the courage of the Indian citizens and make other countries perceive India as weak. Manekshaw believed that the country's leadership needed to project a more confident and resolute stance, especially in the face of external aggression. Silu advises Sam that he should go and speak directly with the Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, about the situation. Sam agrees, and the next scene shows Sam meeting with Nehru. During their conversation, Indira Gandhi, Nehru's daughter, enters the room. She informs them that after Nehru's earlier speech, there is now widespread unrest and a lack of trust between the public and the army in the Assam region. Indira says that at this critical moment, the country needs a strong leader who can command the army. Nehru then reveals that he has just the right person in mind, Sam Manekshaw. With this, Sam is dispatched to travel to Tezpur, Assam. On his way there, an officer tells Sam that the morale of the soldiers in Assam is very low and many are resigning from their posts. The officer also mentions that 2 military teams had been sent to fight in Assam, but one of them had retreated before engaging the enemy in order to avoid further casualties. When Sam reaches Tezpur, he gathers all the soldiers together and delivers a stirring speech. This speech reignites the motivation and fighting spirit among the troops. Sam also declares that no soldier will be allowed to resign until he personally gives them a written order to do so, and he states that he will never issue such an order. Through this decisive action and rousing address, Sam Manekshaw is able to restore the confidence and resolve of the Indian soldiers in Assam, preparing them to face the Chinese aggression. The ensuing battle lasts for several days, but ultimately, India emerges victorious, successfully driving the Chinese troops out of the Assam region. Following this triumph, Sam Manekshaw receives widespread praise and is awarded the prestigious Padma Bhushan honor. The story then jumps ahead to 1964, when Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru passes away, and his daughter Indira Gandhi becomes the new Prime Minister of India. One day, Sam Manekshaw meets with Indira Gandhi, and he suggests that the defense budget should be increased. This would allow the military to acquire more advanced weapons and better equip itself to face India's rivals. The narrative then shifts to the situation in Pakistan, where millions of people are demanding the creation of a separate country called Bangladesh. The Pakistani army is brutally cracking down on these separatist rebels, leading to a massive influx of Pakistani refugees fleeing into India. Indira Gandhi expresses concern that this refugee crisis could spark increased terrorism within India. She then tells Sam Manekshaw that he will need to lead Indian forces in entering Pakistan and stopping the Pakistani army's atrocities to stem the flow of refugees. However, Sam says that he and his troops are not yet ready for such an operation. He requests some time to prepare his forces, and Indira Gandhi agrees to this. With the stage set, Sam Manekshaw and his team begin preparing for the impending war with Pakistan. The war between India and Pakistan, which Sam Manekshaw had been preparing for, eventually begins. This conflict lasts for an extended period, but ultimately India emerges victorious. During the final stages of the war, Sam Manekshaw announces to the Pakistani forces that any soldier who surrenders will not be harmed. Responding to this guarantee, over 90,000 Pakistani soldiers lay down their arms, marking the largest surrender in military history. With this, India secures a decisive win in the war. The story then shifts to 1972, where we see Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India, discussing the possibility of making Sam Manekshaw India's first ever field marshal. However, this proposal faces resistance from several government ministers. They cite a previous comment made by Sam, in which he jokingly stated that if he had gone to Pakistan during the war, they likely would have won. To address this, Sam Manekshaw tells Indira Gandhi that his earlier remark was merely a jest. He then hands Indira a letter, which turns out to be his retirement notice. Despite this, on January 15, 1973, Sam Manekshaw is officially conferred the rank of India's first field marshal. The narrative concludes by informing the audience that Sam Manekshaw passed away on June 27, 2008. However, his final words before his death were, "I am okay," reflecting his stoic and composed demeanor throughout his illustrious military career. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.